An incoming draft just around the corner, and we'll get some thoughts from our three panel members. Black, in terms of where they're going pick-wise, what are you expecting from LGD?
Strong lanes. Oh, wait, are they second pick?
Yeah, LGD
second pick. So strong lanes. They want to have a very well-rounded draft for the first four heroes, and then they want to pick the game closer, probably for Amy, how do you pronounce that?
Ame God.
Ame God.
Ame God.
Ame, yeah. So I'm expecting them to pick strong lanes and then close it out with like a very strong, like what a Terror Blade or whatever they play.
Do you think Wisp is getting through? I feel like that's a big juggle in the first phase of the draft. Is who wants to play against Wisp Gyro? Do you give up the Wisp and steal the Gyro? I really don't like that like block pick.
You don't?
No. It's very rough. But we've seen EG, their first pick Weaver and leave the Wisp open.
Yeah, exactly. So you take the Weaver, and Wisp is pretty bad against Weaver overall, but like the Wisp Gyro is so hard to pass up.
And if Silencer gets left in the pool, like how badly do you really want the Wisp at that point in time?
If it gets two?
Yeah, how well the Silencer can counter the
Silencer,
Wisp.
huh?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Silencer's banned.
Yeah, Silencer's out.
There you go.
Well, why do you think Silencer's good against Wisp?
I just thought the fact that you aren't able to relocate in with the global silence every single time you hear that noise, you just hit the global silence. We saw the way that it actually managed to counter Liquid in their attempt to run the Wisp Gyro. When they were facing up against Wisp Gyro, they didn't have a silencer. They actually were very susceptible to that split push, that kind of 3-on-2 style where you just play aggressive and can rely on the relocate. But once the silencer's in, you can't play that split pushy style.
I see. Yeah, the Wisp, it's actually pretty weak laner in some lanes. What he actually does is he provides like triple regen, like 300% regen to the carry, and that's why he works incredibly well with a hero like Gyrocopter, because Gyrocopter can just spam flat cannon and push out the wave towards his enemies. And once you get like creep wave advantage, it's hard for the enemies to actually go on you. So if you want to like beat this Gyro in lane, you have to out-regen him with heroes like Enchantress or Necrophos, because realistically, if you're any other hero in that lane, you have to constantly use the courier and spend all of your money on regen, because the Wisp is just, he's got like 300% healing on his like 6 tangos and his salve and his fairy fires, and that Gyrocopter is just, you know, constantly flat cannons, rockets, rocket barrage, and he just wears you down until a point where you just can't come back to that lane.
And considering how important the mid matchups are right now, like that 1v1 element that's kind of come back, like you just can't take the courier to the side lanes as much.
No, definitely not. EG Med Willow. I can't believe it. Crit is like...
Yeah, that was...
I thought they were going to pick it.
That hero is so good, and Crit is like one of the best Willow players. It's like...
It's worth a first pick, right? Like, at this point, it's worth a first pick, for sure, right?
You think? Oh, for first picking the hero, I think it can be, especially because like there's that Wraith King Willow combination that's haunted so many teams throughout this tournament.
Oh yeah.
I think it's also a very strong hero against Wisp, so maybe that helps protect the possible Wisp first pick.
I mean, EG took like 50 seconds of the bonus time to ban this hero, so they definitely discussed it quite a lot, I guess.
They're probably
sure whether to pass it up or not.
EG has first pick, right?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, so they're worried about that 2-3, maybe that Wraith King Dark Willow. They don't want to take one of those heroes on first pick, but they also didn't want to like deal with that combo, because it can be really tough to manage. Also, like if you like some teams did a couple like first pick Wraith Kings or first pick Tinies, and then they would like 4 the Willow. Yeah. But a lot of times like Willow's moved up so high in priority. If you first pick that Wraith King, people pick Willow, and Willow's really good against Wraith King because you just dodge the stun, and it's really easy to hit him with your AoE spells.
So Putna banned out in the first phase.
Expect the Necrophos 2-3 then, right?
IO. Yeah. Should be a Necrophos response.
And I like Necrophos up against the Wisp, but Wisp Gyrocopter actually has like a pretty good. They have some skills to kill Necro.
And I think this has been proven to be one of the most potent aggro dual lanes. Earthshaker able to protect the Enchantress so much. It's interesting, you're talking about how the Enchantress and Necrophos being good against the Wisp Gyro, just because the lane. But then we've traditionally thought of Gyro being good against them because of the fact of like the magic damage.
Enchantress is a hero that you really have to play. You have to like you rely on playing through your lanes. And if let's just say your Enchantress lane loses, which it's pretty difficult to make that happen because she's so good in lane.
Yeah.
The game can be really difficult. But if you have a way to kill the Enchantress, maybe in like the mid to late game, then you know losing your lane at the beginning isn't that big of a deal. And Wisp especially, like that hero plays from behind very well for all those reasons that we talked about. And you know there's not that silencer in the pool this time to like negate that global map presence.
And I think that really emphasizes what we've been saying, right? That the laning phase is so important to be able to win out.
But just generally, it's also quite scary to play IO Gyro against Shaker, right? If you ever get to blink, you want to relocate in, you can actually just shut both of you down and almost immediately burst both of you down as well.
Yeah, the Shaker is, I think it's just one of LGD's favorite heroes, especially FYs, and The hero's pretty miserable in lane, I would say. He's one of the worst laners in the meta right now, but because you have such a powerful laner and Enchantress, you have the opportunity to get away with it.
Sets up a lot of strong mid heroes too, like Alina, for example. If you have Alina, you block the guy off, the guy just immediately dies or gets harassed out of lane.
I feel like a lot of teams are trying to emphasize that, right? Their first 2 picks is they want to be able to have a really strong laner, these Enchantresses, Necrophos, Weavers, these kind of heroes, but they still want a really strong team fighter in as well. Earthshaker, Dark Willow, these kind of heroes.
Into the second phase of the draft here, we're going to see LGD's 2 bans. They're most likely banning 2 heroes that they think that will be incredibly good at with the hero they want to pick out the phase. So up against like a Gyro Wisp, you kind of already have your Earthshaker lane, so you maybe just want to ban out some strong laners and then pick the best hero or pick the best core in the pool. Ursa and Weaver are already banned. Clinks is banned as well.
Yeah.
What's next? Necrophos still in the pool?
Necrophos and the partner's already out. Would be... I mean, you definitely want to keep, I think, your mid probably for the last pick and just counter their mid.
Spectre as well, pretty popular pick. There's a Batrider ban that could be leading into a Spectre, right?
Yeah.
It's been some big games from Smart on Tiny.
Man, Spectre, dude, on a Spectre, I feel like every time the OG plays Spectre, they're just like defending against Mega Creeps, and then they somehow win the game.
Yeah.
I mean, every time I see him, he like keeps fighting and fighting and fighting, then he runs away with like 50 health, and he just doesn't die. Suddenly there's like uphill misses and everything, just like, I don't know, that guy just can't die on a hero.
And when he does finally die, he is prepared for that, has buyback, and then buys back, haunts, and wins the team fight.
Yeah, Spectre's pretty annoying to play against, I'd say.
So what are some of the other offlaners that you want to protect a Spectre pick? If you're kind of leading that way with the Batrider ban, what else is out there?
Oh, I think somebody that can just like really bully you on the lane. I'm a big
Necrophos even, right?
My team is a big fan of Panda up against like a melee hero like that.
Right. Okay.
I'm not sure where EG rates that hero. I know S4's been playing a lot more semi carries rather than these like team fight initiator heroes. I don't think EG's been playing very many of those at all.
It feels like kind of their style, right? They want to be able to win the lanes, but they also want to be greedy enough that they win late game, and that's maybe where they
generally Crit has been playing lots of initiators for them.
Yeah.
Like really starting off these team fights, and same thing with Sumail, right? On this Alchemist and this Tiny, like blinking in and stunning people. Those are heroes definitely to look out for. EG also does have that 18 pick, which is they kind of pseudo ban the Storm Spirit by picking the Earthshaker, I think, but that could still be an option for EG. It actually pairs really, really well with the Wisp in a game because you have such high mobility on the map. Like Storm can jump, Storm could jump from like mid lane to top lane, and then Wisp Gyro relocating, and all of a sudden like LGD can't split up at all.
You have to play a 5-man constantly. Your lanes are getting pushed in.
They banned Kunkka.
Yeah, going for Tiny.
And they take the Tiny away.
That's so bizarre to me.
Kunkka ban's weird.
The only time I've seen Kunkka bans this tournament has been after Broodmother picks.
Yeah.
And I guess it's Crit's played some support Kunkka, but I imagine that Crit is going to be playing the Wisp for EG here. And then we're going to see some fly hero, whether it be Phoenix, which definitely might be up there. Phoenix, Wyvern, Lich.
Yeah. They've been favoring the CM, the Phoenix, and the Undying. Those are the 3 that they've been playing predominantly with fly.
And Lich is also so annoying.
I think they'll probably go for Phoenix.
Hate that hero, yeah.
It's a really
would make the most
hero.
sense here. Yeah. And they don't really have anything that Lich is like particularly good against.
No, not at all.
Yeah, it's all magic damage and pure damage.
So you definitely need to bolster up your team fight here for EG.
Yeah.
And
you want catch. You want catch for sure. If you have Io, you always want catch. On your
but that's going to come later.
Mid laner.
I think that's going to come with the Sumail. Maybe they might even go for that 18 Storm Spirit still, just because they're so confident in the hero. It might also come with the Alchemist.
Undying, yeah. There's the team fighter, very good against all the heroes. Nobody really has good attack speed to deal with the Tombstone.
And they recognize that this Earthshaker and Tiny 2 melees this early into the draft makes Undying always a quality pick to help you get through laning phase.
What's the position 5 that Xnova likes that is good against Undying? I feel like everything he likes is not really too good.
I think Bane is pretty solid.
Bane, Witch Doctor maybe?
Yeah, Bane's got really high movement speed, he's got high armor, he's got high HP, he trades pretty effectively with Brain Sap. Undying, he doesn't want to just be like chasing around ranged heroes.
Yeah,
he's pretty sad when he's doing that.
We have actually seen Nature's Prophet as a counter to Undying, just laying them up, and then he just bullies the Undying.
Yeah, Undying's pretty upset in that matchup, but then you have a Nature's Prophet up against a Wisp Gyro, and that's Wisp Gyro, they love pushing out lanes.
Yeah, they do go for the Bane, comfort hero.
Really good versus the Gyro Compter, right? Being able to get that enfeeble on it.
Yeah, and EG has no stuns. So let's just say they relocate into some fight. Bane decides, oh, look, there's a Gyro. I'm going to Fiend's Grip this guy. And all of a sudden, that flat cannon's not doing any damage.
They definitely need to pick up 2 stunners on EG now. Or some sort of disable. Oh, there goes the Alchemist. What do you think about the lane Alchemist Tiny? So they're 5-5?
I actually just think Alchemist just wins this matchup at some point. I think that he gets tanky enough to not die to this like level 5 Tiny combo. And then I think that after that, the game is just pretty free for him. I think he's pretty happy.
And people underestimate it too. When you're actually that tiny, you stand in that acid spray. The creep wave hits you for like 25 damage every hit because you have 0 armor in the hero.
So in this case, is it enough of a liability that you're thinking about changing your mid laner if you're a PSG LGD?
It's just really tough to do at this point in your draft, and EG is going to make another pick to make them even question, picking some Alchemist counter.
Right.
Yeah, situations. Late gamer.
You have a pretty rough time in lane. It's not that favorable, or to really trap LGD, and I think really difficult.
Yeah.
What they could have Ame play that Tiny and this Bloodseeker.
To say the least, but it is in the game. So, 5 heroes are drawn. The commentary team are ready, but before we get there, let's check in once more with our statistician inside the arena. Mr. Nahaz, it's all yours.
Thank you, Red Eye. This series features the 2 most dominant franchises in TI history, over 180 combined wins at the international all-time, and they've also been the 2 most dominant teams in this tournament. They are #1 and #2 in team gold per minute and